family problem, but you knew it came with the package when you married him.
And we're live. Okay.
There you go.
I am with Debra Tate, my love, my sister from another mister. I've known Debra for so many years, and so many of you support Deb. And I just want to say a shout out to Xana. Xana has done so much for us with the no parole for mansonfamily.com. Here's what I need. By the way, this is all her effing hair. Like, she has no extensions.
I just took it out of a knot on my head.
She washed her hair today and came home.
It's wet. I left the house, I tie it in a knot, I clip it up there, but then it stays wet. So I just took it down
and there it is. And it's like down to her waist. And I'm like, oh, first of all, you've lost so much weight, but I love you. But here's what her and I have been talking for 2 hours about stuff. And
none of it pretty either.
Yeah, none of it pretty. It's about, obviously, the Manson family. When Leslie got out, I'm just going to say this. I was sick. This is just, you are a whole other story. I was disgusted when people kept saying, the Manson family will never get out. And I used to say, shut your effing mouth. You're the reason they're going to get out. She got out. She got out, 2 years ago?
She's off of parole now, too.
She's off of parole. She stabbed Rosemary LaBianca 16 times. Didn't know she was dead. Doesn't matter. She stabbed her.
And it's pretty much been determined that she wasn't dead.
Okay.
It wasn't with a little knife. She was questioned during a hearing.
Big carving knife.
That it was,
It was a big carving knife.
Big knife.
So I'm here with Debra Tate. If anyone has any questions, Debra and I would love to talk about what's going on with the Manson family. Here we are almost 60 years later, still trying to keep them where they belong, behind bars. So next up is Pat Krenwinkel.
Yes.
Pat Krenwinkel was there both nights. So she was with Tex Watson, who also was there both nights. She saw and knew what happened at the Tate residence, where Deb went many times to visit her beautiful sister Sharon Tate. She knew what was happening the second night with Tex. Leslie was just like, okay, I'm along for the ride. I know what happened last night, but I wasn't there,
Actually, she was disturbed that she wasn't chosen.
Yeah, she said, I can't wait to be chosen. She said that. Also, what I want you guys to know, Deb has also spoken to some of the family members who have, Barbara Hoyt, Snake, right?
Yes.
So Deb has actually talked to some of the family members that were not just peripheral, motorcycle kind of girlfriends. They were in the family and they lived on Spawn Ranch. Deb spoke with Barbara Hoyt, who
had her in my home several times.
She had her in her home. Now, if you don't recall, a girl named Ruth Ann Morehouse, Wish, whatever they call her, she planted so much LSD in her burger when she went to Hawaii with her, they were trying to kill her. Barbara Hoyt stayed with Deb.
Barbara Hoyt tried to escape twice, walked out barefoot from Death Valley, was picked up and apprehended 2 times, and on the 3rd time they made it out. And was
she with Kitty Lutzinger?
Yes, I believe that's who was with her.
So, for those of you who are following the whole, and maybe you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's okay.
That's an alternative ending that maybe would have been nice.
Deb and I went to the premiere with her daughter, Ariana, and at the very end, I remember us both saying, if only. And when Deb got the script, she's so good. She never told me a friggin' thing about the script. But on the night of the premiere, when we're going there, and of course everyone's there, from Brad Pitt to Leo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, whom Deb also had very much personal time with. We'll speak about that. Deb said to me, do you want to know the answer? I said, let me guess, Sharon lives. Did I? You go, how the hell do you know? And I said, because it's Quentin Tarantino, Deb. And I remember when she gets offered scripts, a movie deal, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them over the years have been, I'm like, I just don't. And then when Quentin Tarantino called, I said, oh, we got to listen up. And Deb, you had a long meeting with Quentin Tarantino.
3 days.
3 days with Quentin Tarantino. Can you guys even imagine?
Was such a nice, reasonable, down-to-earth guy.
Can you imagine? He wanted to do right by Deb. So Deb owns the rights to Sharon's image. Her Roman signed it over to you.
Yes,
if I'm not. Yes,
he did.
So she did not want Sharon, her character, her personality, her life, her image, everything to be displayed in a horrible way or in a wrong way. So Quentin Tarantino came to Deb. She didn't go to him. He came to her, and they had this incredible time together. And she tried to give him the essence of Sharon in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But Deb, you also went to Margot Robbie.
Margot also came to me. I met her halfway at my girlfriend's house in Orange County.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What did you think when you first met Margot?
Also down to earth and lovely.
Like Sharon. Down to earth.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar feeling.
Different physical features,
Yes,
but certainly
absolutely.
the essence was there.
If that kind heart isn't there, there's not an actress in the world that can pretend they have it.
100%. I remember Deb.
Nobody I know of anyway.
Yeah. When Deb and I were in the, we saw the movie when everybody else did. We went to the premiere, what have you. And Quentin Tarantino, God bless this man, he went and purchased the rights to this Matt Helms film, right? 13 Steps or 13 Chairs. And he put Sharon, the actual real Sharon, in the movie. So there's a point where Margot Robbie's watching the movie in a theater by herself, but it's the real Sharon. And I remember you and I grabbed hands, and I'm like, oh my God.
Actually, I'm not sure it was 13 Chairs that was on the screen.
It was a Karate with Bruce Lee,
That
I think
was
you're right.
Don't Make Waves.
Wait.
No, Matt Helm.
It was Matt Helm, yeah.
Matt Helm.
Yeah.
Yes, with Nancy Kwan.
Yes, with Nancy Kwan, who had nothing but great things to say about Sharon. But Sharon had physical comedy and action to do. They picked a great scene. Remember it with the blue? Right. And I just remember grabbing Deb's hand during the premiere saying, we are with the creme de la creme of Hollywood, and they are seeing Sharon Tate right now in 2019, 2020? In the past 5 years. Yeah. And I'm like, here we are. This is Leo DiCaprio and Quentin Tarantino and Brad Pitt. They're all looking at Sharon, Margot Robbie. She got a little bit of the appreciation that she so deserved, but was completely stripped from. Now, I'm sure you guys have questions for Deb, and I really want to turn this to the legal side, because this woman, her and I have gone through a lot of shit together, including breast cancer, has fought and fought and fought, okay? And before that, her mother fought, and everybody fought, and everybody's fighting to keep it, just to do the right thing. But now they're getting out. So for me, okay, as a dear friend of hers, it makes me mental, and I know you guys are all on her side. Yes, I know. Her mom is no longer, Doris was a, Doris Tate was a, what did the president call her? One of the light?
She was a point of light.
Point of light.
She was honored as a point of light.
So for those who are just joining, this is Debra Tate, Sharon Tate's sister, who was murdered by the Manson family, and horribly so, pregnant and ready to give birth and the whole 9 yards. How do you keep your hair so healthy, Debra? By the way, this is Xana. This is Xana, who really helps.
Hi, Xana.
Xana has done.
You want to know the truth? I don't blow dry it. I don't brush it. I wash it. I condition it. I don't put product in it. As I said, I just tie it in a knot and put it on top of my head.
Xana, she comes here.
When it's dry, I'll brush it. And then I'll do something. But I don't do a lot.
I told her, let's go on and do a live about this.
I was not ready for
No, she's got her hair in a clip and she pulls it down, and I pulled it. I was like, are these extensions? Wah! No, it's her hair. She's been blessed with beautiful, and she was born with red hair. So, no, we still talk to Roman. Well, Deb talks to Roman.
I do.
So Roman and the girl that you're referring to have completely.
There's not been a problem for
Never.
a long time, but she's actually went to court and tried.
What's her name?
Her name is
Samantha
Gramer.
Yeah. So this girl Samantha says, please leave. Samantha, if you're watching, she says, please leave me the F alone. And, she's come clean with a lot of stuff about, how she was 13 and how her mother did leave her there. Samantha Geimer, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And she's spoken with Deb and Roman, and they took a picture together recently. She's like, I want this to end. So how did we meet?
You and I?
Yeah, people are asking.
Robin.
Yes, Robin, your web.
My little sister's best friend that I inherited after Patty's death.
So Patty was 11 when Sharon was murdered senselessly. Deb was 16, turning 17, had a boyfriend, little bit beyond where Patty was. But Patty had...
A lot beyond.
Yeah.
Because she was the baby and coddled. So,
yeah.
It's the natural order of things.
A friend of mine and I just found the listing Roman and Sharon put out looking for a nanny in 1969. We'll be sharing soon. Wow, Xana.
That's cool.
So Xana only posts the coolest things about Sharon, and she posts things that I don't know, and I'm like, what the F? It's incredible to me. It's always about honoring Sharon and Roman. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Debra is beautiful. She sure is. Yeah. Hi, Bob Williams. You got to see this Bob Williams.
I wish I could see.
Well, I can't really see, but Bob buys badges. But beyond that, he's a really good-looking man. I'm telling you that.
Does Bob buy badges? What kind of badges?
I don't know, but they're badges for me. But I will tell you. So Debra has worked for, I would say 50 years almost, trying to keep these people behind bars. It is very hard. One, they're getting older, so there's like a thing in California where every year, even though she put Tex behind bars, she said to me earlier, I was like, oh, Tex not to worry about. She goes, yes, dummy. When we did the Tex thing, it was 5 years ago. So every single year, these people, because they're of an elderly age, like Leslie just got out, Pat Krenwinkel is next. I'll tell you, Bruce Davis and Tex will be up there. And this
They've
woman...
already been up there, but I shouldn't say that. They were not successful at their plea for parole because of the bad things that they're doing.
So here's what people don't realize. They think, oh, they're old now and everything's in a... Oh, no. You have a life in prison. I'm sorry. Tex fathered 4 kids, okay? Your life isn't that bad. Bobby Beausoleil, he was selling artwork, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. You don't have
porn artwork, and it was involved with an FBI investigation that it was drawing pictures
of children,
naked children, custom ordered for a child
pornography website
ring, and got busted for that.
Thank God he got busted.
I was told they found the art in his cell. They flipped his cell and found what he was doing and was involved in that FBI case that culminated in the capture of this child pornography ring. And that was as recently as 2024. But yet we have to hear, okay, people, let me just say this, because I get a lot of guff. I don't do this.
Never. I made her do this.
My family, or because it's the Manson family. I do this for other murder
victims.
Anybody that needs help, I will go with them. I will teach them how to speak, because it's a little bit harder when you've got face-to-face family to grant them that.
Deb is a victim's rights advocate.
The system is all slanted
towards the criminal.
Release. We don't even have a parole that is more than 1 year. It's actually 6 months. Okay?
These are, you guys, these are baby killers. When people talk, I'm
the
sorry.
Superior Court had a beef with the California Parole Board because they could not come up with the recidivism rate for more than 5 years. Inmates actually sued in the Superior Court and won.
They have more rights than us.
And won.
And they won.
Because
oh my God.
it's a big cover-up. When they were, at the end of the day, when the higher court judge said, we need you to track your prisoners and be able to come up with a recidivism rate, it's over 90% of violent offenders will repeat a violent crime, not necessarily the murder, but a violent crime within the first 2 years. Bottom line, California has been trying to hide that.
California's penal system has been
it's
horrible.
Not about my family.
No, see, that's what I want to say. Deborah isn't just about the Manson murders. She does advocate.
You.
Yeah.
And the process, it's called the California Method, is privately owned, and they are selling it all over the United States. So it's coming to a town near you soon.
There you go.
Bottom line.
If I may tell a story, I'm not going to name names, but I'll tell you. So Deborah and I, this was years ago, and obviously she's a victim's advocate, right? So it's not just about the Manson family. That's a huge part of it, but she helps other victims. There was a woman, and I'm sure you'll remember. She was raped. She had a baby. This man was he was a rapist. He went behind bars. He advocated to the California whatever, and he said, I want the right to see my child. He had brutally raped this woman, and he was granted it. And I remember when Deb told me that, I was like, we are fucked. Because the Manson family is one thing. When Leslie got out, I got to tell you, how did you feel?
I've got some better stories than that.
She's got good stories, I'll tell you. So if you're just joining us, this is Debra Tate. She is Sharon Tate's sister and advocate.
That a grandmother that approached me and wanted help. The father was molesting the 1-year-old child.
Stop it.
The mother fought and was murdered. It resulted in death, of the mom, and he did go to prison for it when he came out, but they said second-degree murder because mother was fighting back. So that's a mutual combat.
Do you see what we're facing in the penal system? Do you understand this? Yes,
Dad
it's backwards.
Got out. Grandma's asking me for help and got custody of the kid.
The grandma did.
Dad.
Okay.
That was raping the baby.
I'm so
that
fucking
the mother
done.
was fighting for.
Okay. So she lives in this hell, and thus, I feel our health gets affected by it.
Well, maybe.
Well,
you know what? I don't take my well-being into consideration.
She never does, and that's part of the problem.
I don't have a selfish bone in my body.
She doesn't.
I'm not motivated by hate. I don't hate anything.
Death penalty needs to be back. I'm with you.
When people pass organically, I actually
pray for them. She does.
I say a prayer for them.
She prayed for Charles Manson when he died.
And I still have the flowers that I put behind my crucifix on the wall when I say that prayer, and the tears that I cry. But I will admit to you, my prayer includes, God, I've done my side of it. They're your problem now.
Do you see how incredible that is? Like,
I still have the dried flowers. I keep them in a special place.
And this is Charles Manson.
Once they come down from behind the cross.
Think about the people. It wasn't just Charles Manson. So there's so many people involved. So she's constantly going to hearings and trying to keep up and keep them behind bars. It's not only exhausting, it
sets precedents, people. It sets
the stuff she tells me behind the scenes. I'm like, oh my God, if people even knew half of this, I would have left the country with my child. Well, you say that, but it's not as easy as one thinks. Like, poor baby, that's what happened to Anne Heche.
Let me address address that.
Yeah.
Completely.
Please.
Put yourself in that position. You come in and you find him
abusing your 1-year-old.
Penile implant in your baby, in your 1-year-old baby.
And
she didn't know prior to catching this. She didn't know there was no time to run and nowhere to hide, no help to be had. You react.
So Debra Tate is a advocate for other people. It's not just the Manson family that she constantly has to face, which is a fucking nightmare. Yes, the Menendez brothers. I believe in the death penalty. California overturned it when okay, so everyone was slaughtered by the Manson family, right? In 1971, the death penalty was overturned, I believe, by Jerry Brown and a woman.
Rosebird was her name. She went to law school with Jerry Brown. They were both, excuse my term, wet behind the ears because they hadn't actually had real jobs or Rosebird, I'll just say this as a fact, had never sat on the bench at all. And she got plugged into the
and she
court.
Overturned
with the swipe of a pen. Her and Jerry Brown got together with a swipe of a pen and eliminated
the death penalty. Which, by the way, so even if, like, I used to have this fight with my ex-husband. Okay, I have to read Xana. What are Debra's thoughts on Brian Kohberger? I see a lot of similarities, blah, blah, blah. The family, the way they're being treated with how they were in 1969. How was your family treated in 1969?
Oh my God. How were we treated? We were a circus sideshow, getting out of the driveway through a sea of press that were out there 24/7.
Can you imagine? And I'm going to plug in. My battery's
They would come up to the door and we would...
Wait, in San Pedro?
No, in Palos Verdes.
Palos Verdes, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where she went.
I'm plugging in to get more charge.
Plugging in.
I don't want it to. But they asked about Brian Kohberger. What do you think about him? Because I think he would have been a big serial killer. I really do.
Yes. You know?
Yeah.
This is also the bottom line. The bottom line is if you have been diagnosed, and people are going to hate me for this, but I've done
But people hate me for everything.
They hate me for anything I do. Or don't do. You know, everybody wants to tell you what they think, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, doing anything is a whole different story.
Yes.
If you have the diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, it's a sliding scale. You can go up or down. Anywhere that with that base diagnosis, you can go up through the levels of sociopath, all the way up to psychopath, and then back down again.
Okay, so
which is why I want these people, any of them, to stay in a controlled environment where they can thrive.
Yes.
And where we are safe. Because out in the streets, plugging in.
Sorry, I'm plugging in. And people have said to me, "Oh my God, they're so old. They won't." I don't give a fuck.
In the streets.
Tell them who they know in prison and how. Like, you guys think like, oh, they're in prison. They're old ladies. They make license plates. They're talking to other inmates that have murdered people. So let's just say that. Gotta get your
Leslie Van Houten had a 16-year relationship, and it's funny because this went in the second appellate court, who actually let her loose. Eventually, it was her third or fourth appearance, and the other times they did not grant her that release, but at the final time, it was 2 judges against 1. And it was the first time this particular woman was representing Leslie. She was a little bit slicker than Pfeiffer was.
Are you kidding?
No, and she's from Palos Verdes, too.
She's slicker than Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer was in love with Leslie. Pfeiffer's biggest fuck up was that he was in love with Leslie, I think.
Well, this woman spoke into the record that I was a liar, and the one judge that didn't agree, a liar that I'm often incorrect, or anyway, bottom line, she was implying that I don't tell the truth.
Okay.
And so the judge
Whatever, lady.
pulled out Leslie's spoken record from a
nice.
years ago and read word for word what it was, where Leslie admitted it was romantic in nature. Same thing I say, even though it was by pen, as pen pals, they were romantic in nature. They were making plans for each other's shared life
Outside.
on the outside.
Yeah.
He committed suicide because he lost his last appeal, and he was convicted in 2 states of brutal murders of women. One Texas, one Illinois.
Okay.
And so he has the bug. He has the bug. He has the gene it would be a highly volatile situation. But the bottom line is, I always say that this was a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Very simply. And the judge of the Second Appellate Court, which the only thing above that is the Supreme Court of the United States.
Yep.
She agreed that it was a red flag. If you have a 16-year romantic relationship with a man that fits the profile that you were in your original years of crime committance, then what rehabilitation? Where?
Guess what? She's out now.
She's out, and she's not being tracked. She's off with parole.
I don't even want to say it.
I don't know. Say it. I can't read the words. Oh.
I don't want to even.
Yeah, we can't go there. Sorry.
Yep. She was still attracted to the same type of guy as Manson. Yeah.
Exactly. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. And Squeaky Fromm has her significant other was a criminal. Okay.
Is that Atwa? She is. Oh, I don't want to promote it. I don't want to promote it. But she tried to kill Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
Her significant other. Go ahead, because she did prison time, but got out.
She did. For that crime, she did.
Debbie says, I think of Sharon every day. I was 10 when it happened. Sharon's life was stolen from her. Yes. If she had only stayed in London with Roman, well, you can't think that way. Or if she was at Jay's
I tell
home.
the people that I counsel, you cannot live in the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Woulda, should've, and could've do not factor into anything.
Yeah. Because if you live there, can you imagine?
Then you're always
going to be in that,
in that state of mind. And
so
I will tell you, the pain never goes away. What does happen is you get used to wearing it. That's it.
So I get outraged sometimes. I've only been to 2 or 3 of the parole hearings, and I get outraged. Deb is very, it's almost like clinical. She'll cite, police, and it's very different for her. I think because you've gone through so much and it's been so many years, but there have to be times when you slow down and think about it and think, my God, how fucked up is this that we're still, gosh darn it, talking about it and releasing these monsters.
In my opinion, my sister died with a purpose, okay? And the purpose is the fight between good and evil. And for that reason, this is not going to go away. And right now, evil is winning.
Yes.
And look around you. Look at how much the violent crimes has increased. We are not doing a good job.
At all.
We are not doing a good job.
When people
I'm
say...
doing the best I can, but I'm just one little gal.
But, Debra has been representative for many years, decades, for all the families. Now, remember, this isn't just Sharon Tate's family. So Debra was 16, turning 17 when Sharon was murdered.
Excuse me.
Jay Sebring, he's got family. Stephen Parent has family. Oh my gosh. Gary LaBiancas have family.
Gary
Hinman, yep. And oh my gosh, like this is a big thing. So she represents families. It's very exhausting in the sense that trying to keep up, A, with all the killers, and B, there's a lot of families involved and a lot of people.
A lot of emotional support that needs to go on. Yeah. And the only thing that I can see as far as a piece of magic that I have is, as far as victims' rights is concerned, is they look at me and they say, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I'll come in at ground zero. At ground zero when their loved one has been lost, because actually the legal system falls short.
Yes.
Always. They may get sent to have a victim's advocate when you get to court, but you never get to court for a minimum of 2 years in jail before you start any kind of a trial. And that's anywhere in the United States. So there's a big area where they have nothing and they don't know what to do. And I'm willing to give up my time zone, take calls in the middle of the night. I will not let them be alone because I remember what it was like to be alone. I tried very hard to hold my family together.
Can you imagine? And this isn't just any family. Like the Brian Koberger case is huge now. Her sister was a movie star, married to a huge director. So they had A, no privacy. B, her mom, I would do the same at first.
Scientology we had an open campus at my high school in Rolling Hills.
Yeah.
And they closed the gates for the first time with me going back to school. Yes, because they didn't know who or where or what.
Holy shit.
Because Bruce Davis was involved with the Church of Scientology, they actually threw ropes over and rappelled down the side of the building into where all of us kids were to get to me. And the reason they wanted to get to me, and this has happened several times.
Oh, in her life? Yeah.
In several different ways during the process to try to convince me that these people didn't do what they did.
So just like Brian Koberger's fans out there, I'm like, oh my God, I'd love for you to date him. Oh, that'd be fabulous. Like, are you ding-dongs? Are you that? I can't believe the Scientology story, though.
Okay. Excuse me. Bruce Davis married while in prison and had a child.
Four kids. Oh, Bruce Davis. One kid. Yeah.
And she was so gung-ho, and we went to an en banc meeting, which is in Sacramento, where everybody is it's an open...
I can't wait to marry a serial killer. Woo!
And she actually laid hands on me.
What?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Fuck? I don't know this.
Hands on me while I was on camera.
Shut up.
Yeah.
By the way, Deb does let's say it's 25 years. There's Deborah, there's Diane Sawyer. Oh, here comes Katie Couric. Here comes, they all want to be a part of it. However, when you got your news, think about, there are sympathizers, and there have been sympathizers in the news for the murderers. And I'm going to say there's one woman that I went after and attacked her because when it happened, she was in the newsrooms here and she was the first to learn there was a murder or at least a fire. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
A fire at Cielo, or at least in the Hollywood or Beverly Hills. And Benedict Canyon
was how the news
Yes,
went.
and she was like first on it, and she was the biggest advocate for many years in the front row. She was Associated Press, I believe, so she was allowed a front row seat to. She was privy to everything. Yes, correct.
Everything.
And I thought she was fantastic back in the day. Come to learn that
when it came time for her to retire,
she became not only a sympathizer, but she wanted to be a friend to these murderers. And she became friends to one of the murderers who was let out. But I want to talk about Deb. There's something called where the victims' families can meet with the murderers. Is this correct?
Yes. That is
Please tell us about that.
Restorative justice.
Can you imagine Deb sitting down with...
I've actually asked, and so have LaBiancas for 19 years, which we have spoken. Mr. LaBianca...
Nothing.
Lou.
Smaldina.
Spoken into the record that for the last 19 years he has asked Leslie Van Houten for some kind of
who just got out, and she had
they
nothing.
Never did, and they never will.
She doesn't
know what they are required to do for the first part of their 12-step program. You're supposed to make amends, right? That's part of your 12 steps.
Mm-hmm.
They write a letter. They wad it up and throw it in the wastebasket on the way out of the class, and that is their restitution.
So do you guys understand what is being said here right now? The Manson family slaughtered her sister, who was 9 months pregnant, 2 weeks from giving birth. This was in the 1969. Death penalty overturned in 71. Deb's whole life has been fighting to keep them behind bars. Fighting something that should be obvious, like, of course you should be behind bars. No, not with the California penal system. And then there's this incredible, I think, which would bring, I don't know, some sort of healing. You saw me today talking to my ex-husband's wife. You know, there's something in talking to people. So Deb and Lou Smaldino from the LaBianca family wanted to speak with Leslie Van Houten, who was just released. She wanted nothing to do with it.
Independently or separately or whatever. They will talk to, however, any newscaster, podcaster that came their way. They would definitely make.
But not with the family that you ruined. Like, I understand Leslie wasn't there on the night of Deb's sister. It doesn't matter.
How can they claim that they've said they're sorry? When they do say they're sorry in a parole hearing, they are talking to the parole officers, not to us.
By the way, it's crocodile tears. I was there. Remember, the first one I ever went to was Pat Krenwinkel. And she was like, I only... And it was, I was like...
but it's not crocodile tears, just crocodile noises. And
there was no tears, and I was like, that's interesting. That was my very first one. Okay,
and then
question.
you hear them go in the other room for the
when we get a break,
and you hear them yelling and cursing or whatever.
The real person coming out.
I've heard chairs, furniture being thrown or scooted across the floor very loudly. You
think that I hate when people say she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I agree. Well, they're talking about Sharon. She was in her fucking home. She wasn't in the wrong place. Yeah, I agree with you, Xana. She was in the right place at the right time, and the wrong people came in, and the reason they did was a whole stupid...
Anybody. We are all so vulnerable.
All of us.
Anybody can come in to your private area.
Yep.
At any time, even a stray bullet,
Yeah.
Off the street. We are all so vulnerable.
We really are.
That's why I keep trying to keep the laws fair. All right? And when you have a monster in the cage, why
let them out?
To give the chance
of it happening again.
A little chance.
Deb, and I don't care if it's a 0.1%. We don't give a fuck.
Well,
we've seen what they've done and what they're capable of.
Right. We know what they've already done.
What? Hello? Why should this be a question?
Haven't addressed anything except programming. We know that they may do some good things in prison, talking or counseling other at-risk newcomers that are coming into jail.
And good for them.
And great for them.
Deb always says, and I will give you kudos to you, whenever they're pumping up these murderers, and they do, like I've been and privy to, they'll say she's done this course and she's amazing with this and she works with seeing eye dog and blah, 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 and la, la, la. Deb always says, that is wonderful. This one doesn't have hate in her soul. She'll say, I'm very glad for her that she's done all of these courses. However, I believe she's still a threat because here's what she was capable of. I don't care if you're 19 or 59. I'm 59. I could still be capable. people could kill me. Like, you have to be, it's everywhere. And I
I'm 2
believe
years younger than Leslie Van Houten. I'm only 2 years younger.
that's insane. So when Leslie was caught, that is true. She was not, so 3 years. You were, no, 2. She was 17. She was 19. And they always go, oh, she was so young. I'm sorry. Ruth Ann Morehouse joined at 14. Snake joined at 13 or 14.
I don't know.
So, you guys, if you're following this, I remember this when I was a kid in Canada. Yep, me too. That's for sure. What year? 1969. What does Debra think of Jeffrey Epstein? Deb for governor. Deb for governor. I agree. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yes, I agree.
I love the Epstein question. I did not realize it. And then maybe I'm so unscripted. I'm so unscripted, I'll answer anything.
Yeah, she is.
I had no idea how close I was to that fire. Okay, Epstein, he got his backing from Adnan Khashoggi, who was, at the time, I didn't know he was a world-class arms dealer.
What?
I thought he was a guy that was just letting me fly the helicopter.
Do you understand? This is this woman.
And
to me, she's like Heather and Mel. She just goes with
sexually laid a finger on me, but he did say to me, "I really like watching how your brain works." I have never
Jeffrey Epstein, Adnan Khashoggi.
I have never seen anybody try as hard as you to work everything out to move it in a positive direction. This is the biggest arms dealer supporting wars all over the world.
Oh my God! But you didn't know you were
in the world.
But you were a teenager. You didn't know.
Well, I was in early 20ers.
That's so what?
I was
You
in
didn't
early
know.
20ers.
You didn't know.
Guess who gave Epstein his start, both financially and in the human
Khashoggi.
Khashoggi.
Okay. Yes, Tex Watson has had 4 children since he's locked up.
Yes.
Yep, and he denied Sharon to have 1.
That's right.
Do they get paid for news interviews and such? That's a great question. I don't know.
Well, the question is answerable. Yes, they do make money.
But Son of Sam law. Talk about that, Deb.
Gone.
Son of Sam happened. You guys remember, he's the guy who went out and shot Lover's Lane in New York. Blah, 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 blah. Son of Sam law came out in the 70s. It said
we abolished it in the 80s.
Yeah. No murderer can make profits off of blah, blah, blah.
Until
it's gone.
It's gone.
So now I have to pee.
Uh-oh.
Well, just answer that.
So what happens?
Well, they're asking you a shitload of questions. Hang on. Let me ask.
I can't read it, Jillian.
Does she do interviews in prison and get paid for it? She's out of prison. If we're talking about Leslie Van Houten, they already proved they can't be trusted in society.
That's right. That's my feeling.
Yeah. Deb, talk about that a little bit, even though they're elderly, because that's been a thing that I face. They go, oh, they're 70 years old. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
How viable am I?
Yeah, how old are you?
How viable am I? Do you think that if I wanted to do something that I would be incapable because I'm 72, getting ready to turn 73 in basically a month? But
exactly.
I've made it this far. I'm proud of it. I'm not going to pull any punches or pretend I'm anything other than what I am. The age doesn't matter, especially when you are in command of an army of ill-informed worshipers that will do your bidding. Which all of these people have a fan base of violent people. I get death threats all the time.
Deb always gets them.
I've had people run through my 10-foot gates at the ranch.
Yep.
I've had, all kinds of things. All the time.
She gets
that have happened to me. So they are physically aggressive towards me.
So
not just verbally on Messenger, but physically aggressive towards me. And when I say they, I am referring to what I call the second wave.
So tell everybody what the second wave is.
What I have tagged personally, the second wave is the core Manson 5 that are left, now 4 because Leslie got released.
Yeah.
Their followers, their fans, those people that
fans. Did you hear what she just said?
Worship the ground
fans.
they walk on,
Is that disgusting?
and are willing to take up arms and fight for the cause.
Somerville says devil working overtime.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
For those people asking, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Oh, this is better than a podcast. Well, thank you.
What is this and that? What is
So
what are the this
devils and angels?
Oh, devils and
they
angels.
walk on earth. I don't believe,
Yes.
oh, angels are up high, and you're going to go, and oh, the gate's open, and then down below it's fire. No. It's on earth. And it's usually fucking men. Huh?
I do believe that
it's on earth, and it's usually men, but in this actual situation, it was a couple of men, 3 men, 4 men, but it was a group of women. who did this to a, I remember Susan Adkins. Oh God, I'm just going to say this really quickly because it's very hardcore and depressing, but when most people die, they scream for their mother, and that's exactly who Sharon screamed for. The reason we know this is because the woman who stabbed her and took her life and her baby's life admitted that. Now I see all these shows where these people come out and say they asked for their mother, and my heart just breaks. So what we can get from this is the California system is broken. It's been for quite some time. And without the work of advocacy, which it's insane. It's exhausting.
I also want to add here that it's been broken under both Republican and Democrat leaders. This is not a red thing or a blue thing. This is a public safety thing.
100%.
Okay.
Deb had.
Let's not let it go someplace.
Yeah. So she had all these signatures for Jerry Brown. She's had them for Gavin Newsom. It's Schwarzenegger,
Davis, all those.
Davis. Yep. Gray Davis.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It is not a red or blue issue. It's a death and human issue. And if you're on the wrong side of justice for me, I want nothing to do with you. And I told, there's many people that have said to me, oh, recidivism. And I'm like, there's no such thing. I'm sorry. It is hard.
California did have to present that Superior Court compliance, and we found out that it's in the 90s. Within the first 2 years of violent crime offenders, they will reoffend in a violent manner, not necessarily their original violent manner that they were incarcerated for, but over 90%.
So people are saying they have fans that's sick. Oh God, yeah. The Manson was hiding out in 29 Palms, not far from my boyfriend's cabin. Well, Death Valley, right?
29 Palms is outside of Palm Springs.
That's Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Okay. It is. Somebody said, oh, hi, Patsy. Say hi to Deborah. Patsy.
Hi, Patsy.
Patsy is a wonderful follower / woman. Oh, my God, I love her. And she's all about pro-women and pro-you. And I have so many people on here that know that you and I are friends, but we've never done a live together. No. And, for me, I said to Deb, I really want to do one because Leslie's out. When Leslie got out, I don't know for you, and I'm going to ask you in a second. When Leslie Van Houten got out, my whole body, there was a shift, and I felt differently. And I talked to Heather Locklear about it. And Heather said to me, what if you talk to Deb about meeting with Leslie? I said, oh no, that's already been done. There's a whole thing in prison, and she didn't want to meet Deb. She did not want to meet Deb or Lou Saldana, who is the La Bianca, Smaldino, who is the La Bianca representative. So, hola. We are talking about the Manson family. This is Debra Tate, Sharon Tate's sister. Sharon was murdered by the Manson family, Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, Susan Adkins, and Linda Kasabian was there as a watch point because she was the only one with a active license, but she, I don't know. Did you ever meet her? Because Deb has met some of the family, so let's reiterate some of that. You've met Barbara Hoyt, right?
Yes. I've had her in my home.
Yeah.
She would testify at parole hearings.
Yeah.
She would fly in and stay at my house because the LA DA's office wanted her testimony but wouldn't put her up anywhere. So she
stayed with, I mean, are you guys hearing, like, this is stuff that nobody knows about? So Barbara Hoyt, you know, she was...
Who did the creepy crawlers?
So do you guys know what the creepy crawlers are? If you don't...
Practice.
Hi, Debra. Everyone's saying hi, Debra.
Hi.
Okay, if you guys don't know what the creepy crawlers were, yes, I know Kim Kardashian is helping people like the Menendez brothers. Yeah. Well, God bless her. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. Hi, Deb. Patsy says, so creepy crawlers were when they started out sort of, what did you say? What's
They
the
were
word?
practicing,
yeah.
They would break into people's houses in the middle of the night.
While they were sleeping
While
and
they were sleeping.
rearrange their
things
furniture.
around, and it was just all about getting them confident in going in, creeping into people's houses,
Yeah.
and doing little things that would mess with one's mind in the morning. You know?
So these people would wake up and there would be, their furniture would be moved and it would be like, what the hell? And if you think about it, it's much like the Golden State Killer, not unlike a Ted Bundy. People go, how can one person kill Brian Koberger? Have you seen Ted Bundy? He went into a sorority house. He fucking killed 2 people and slaughtered the other, tried to kill them, bit their boobs, the whole 9 yards. The Manson family, to me, they are the beginning of all of, you know, I had Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek of the Doors on Good Day LA, and I said to them, and I also said this to Dennis Hopper, what was the end of the 60s for you? And
That was it.
they said the Manson murders. Both Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek both said the Manson
It
murders.
was the death of innocence.
Tell everyone what it, because you were there, and Patsy, people who grew up here, they remember it, and they're all saying, oh my God, we were terrified. They're all in their 60s now, and they're like, holy shit, we locked our doors, we were terrified. Tell everyone what it was like for your family, who actually was part of it. What your, Doris and Paul, your dad?
My dad left, okay? Right after the funeral, he left. Which is why, and Mom was a mess, an absolute mess. I would make sure that Patty had lunch money.
Patty was 11, she was 17.
I would make sure that she was taken care of, that she did her homework, that she had clothes picked out. I'm trying to keep Mother, you know, out of her
tomb. Doris was in a fucking tomb.
An emotional tomb.
I would be in an
crying, constant,
oh my God.
sobbing, constant, 24/7.
Because
and I'm still going to high school and caring for my little sister. My father was absent, okay, but for a very good reason.
Yeah.
He went out as an intelligence officer that took retirement because of this event to find
the killers.
who killed his daughter.
Yeah.
All right, that's why he wasn't there. So he was still on board.
So you guys must know.
I got the brunt of holding the house together.
Which at 17, while she's trying to have a boyfriend and a life, this has been her life. And I just want to say one thing about your dad. Colonel Paul Tate, every time he went through the detectors at Temple Broadway at the center where they were being tried, everyone was detected, but they were especially worried about your dad because he was special forces.
Trained killer.
A trained killer, and he could have easily, if he had chosen to bring a gun and, you know, go after. So that's a whole story. So did your mom attend any of the court case?
Yes.
She did.
No court whatsoever, no trial whatsoever. I wanted to. My dad forebode.
I'm kind of glad that he did, but you're a tough.
My dad was worried that I would not be able to restrain myself.
Yeah,
actually.
That's why I always say.
I am a natural redhead, by the way.
Yeah.
I do have the personality that goes along with
I always
it.
tell her, she's like, I go, you were the rebel fan. She goes, I was a good girl. Yeah, you were, but you have a side to you.
I do.
And it's a fighting side.
It's a fighting side. It always has been.
Always.
I am the warrior son that my father never had.
Yeah, because he got 3 daughters. He wanted
I
lawyers.
was the tomboy. I was the athlete. I didn't get high. I didn't drink. It was yucky. I didn't like to be out of sorts
Your
with myself.
mind, yeah.
I liked to be present, and a lot of that had to do with my athletic horses and swimming and gymnastics. Very physical, and dance.
Yeah,
So,
she was really physical. And
physical.
also, Roman and Sharon got you a horse, Shalimar, right? Shalazar, sorry.
Yes.
Shalazar.
Plus.
I was thinking of the perfume.
Yes.
But, so her life was very active at the time. Can you imagine it being cut short by this insane circus of, when those 3 women would walk down the halls, people would get terrified. Whether it was the X's on the singing, they were a cult, but...
Leslie Van Houten made a statement that she was afraid of Patricia Krenwinkel. But they just gave Patricia a parole date.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, Leslie Van Houten is free. This is Debra Tate, Sharon Tate's sister, the Manson family murders. They just granted one of the other murderers, who was there on both nights, the Tate and LaBianca evenings, parole.
9 people, if you want to.
Yeah,
I always
9.
count Baby Paul.
Baby Paul, of course. I always say they're baby killers.
He was completely
Full
viable.
form. He was 2 weeks away. Do you understand? I was early with my son. It's easy.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
I shouldn't break it, but I will. A cellmate who was a cellmate in prison with Patricia, and this is hearsay, this is the story exactly the way she gave it to me.
Yeah.
She applied immediately to be transferred out of there because she was scared to death. But she did make a comment first, and that was that all of the girls stood around and watched Baby Paul squirming in Sharon's belly as he was fighting for oxygen.
For 20 minutes.
Sharon's life was already gone, so they watched him suffocate in her body, and his little body was, of course, moving and thrashing, which is what all humans do when they are losing their life.
Dr. Noguchi said it took 20 minutes for the little boy to die.
Yeah.
If you're listening, it's, people always said they cut the baby out. They suffocated.
It was made within the last 5 years, by the way.
So it's brand new.
So if they are going to tell these kind of stories, how stable are they?
I would love to know.
How stable are they? That's bragging.
Oh.
That's braggery.
It is brag. Yeah, of course. Adoring Sharon said, I would love to know about the story of Elizabeth Taylor having Sharon removed from the set and Debra asking her about it. Is that true?
She wasn't removed. Well, maybe she was. All right. You're right. Technically, you're absolutely correct.
Zan is always right about everything.
That is the bottom line. But what she didn't have her physically removed from the set. She just verbalized that she didn't want Sharon in the Sandpiper. And later on, as a makeup artist, I had the opportunity to work with Liz. And Liz brought it up to me. I didn't bring it up to Liz. Liz brought it up to me, and I was very happy to discuss the topic.
I'm sorry, but that is so fucking cool, because you're Elizabeth Taylor, up and coming, this beautiful young, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want her to be. And then this one she's a makeup artist. So
I was.
Deb grew up in the Hollywood scene, became a pro makeup artist, and was on the set when they were doing Valley of the Dolls on the 20th Century lot. They were also doing Planet of the Apes. So Deb didn't you get to visit? That's like my favorite movie.
Dad and I went wandering. Dad did it too. I have his personality.
Dying.
So I'm watching all the wigs and the hair stuff go on, and Tillman doing his face thing on the girls. Got a little bored with that because Sharon was my sister in the modeling. I mean, I've seen the best makeup artists in the world going on still stuff, and still, actually, I think as an artist still is much more telling, because that photograph is there to be picked apart. Any little mistake you make is there.
But when you
forever.
people talk about the banana eye, this one knows exactly. Like, I've seen girls on YouTube, hundreds of girls doing the banana eye. I've seen a girl come really, really close, and quite frankly, she was fantastic. But this one knows all about how Sharon did that look, which was so beyond anything people were doing at the time. They were all doing a certain other look, like a Twiggy or Candice Bergen or, Ursula Andress. It was all about this taupey eye. But Sharon took it to this other level, and I don't know if that was her or who decided to do that sort of banana eye.
That was Max Factor's son.
Max Factor's son. Oh my God.
I can't remember his first name, actually.
Is that right? Well, I know Davis. They're the grandsons. Davis and the other, I know. That's why I put these out here for us. Honey, me and Debra are like crickety crackety. This is so scary. How do us know each other? It's horrifying. What the fuck? Oh my God. Devastating about baby Paul. This is heartbreaking. Ugh, horrific animals.
It is heartbreaking. And
so
I don't
evil.
like to be the bearer of bad news, but I do want, it's important that you know where the mindset of these people are.
Yes, they're saying pure evilness.
They are still conning. They are still con people, which is why they don't want to get an eye lock.
Okay.
With me, I can see through it, and they know it.
Jill Pandora, I just have to say this. Dorothy, my grandma, and Gwen, that's Doris, were best friends and next door neighbors for many years.
Dorothy Gallio?
It's got to be Dorothy. Yeah.
If it's Dorothy Gallio.
It's Jill Pandora. It's got to be.
Jill!
Yeah.
Jill! Of course I know who you are.
Oh.
Your grandmother, I call her still my utter mother. My utter mother. I love Dorothy. And I loved your family. I knew your...
Oh my gosh, that's so...
I knew your mom and dad, and I would love to talk to you.
Oh, Jill, that's so sweet. So Dorothy is her grandma. She was
my mother's best friend.
Was she the one who came to the house?
When we were in San Pedro, when we first landed in 1962.
From Texas.
We lived in...
from Italy.
From Italy. In 1962.
Yeah.
We rented...
They were army brats.
In San Pedro.
Yeah.
And Dorothy was our next door neighbor.
That's Jill's grandma.
We bought a house in Palos Verdes. Dorothy, I call her Dorothy. Oh. And her family were still in South Shores. They had an opportunity and bought the house in Palos Verdes right next door to our home. So
how was Dorothy when everything happened to your mama?
Oh my God, it was so... your grandmother did everything.
Oh!
Okay, news is coming in. The televisions are showing everything.
Good God.
I'm on the phone trying to find out what happened. My boyfriend...
Did they say it was a fire?
Yes, they did. Had heard on KHJ that there was a fire in Benedict Canyon, and it was rumored that 5 people were dead at the home of Sharon Tate.
Jesus.
All right. He called my house
Your
and
boyfriend.
talked to my mother and told him, because I was out in the shower.
I remember.
We were just unpacking because we just come back from Sausalito, where we had done 3 years.
Oh, Jesus, you guys moved a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I needed somewhere to put Patty. And Dorothy had a doll collection like nothing you've ever seen. And Patty was forbidden in that room. Actually, I think all children were.
But Patty was 11. She would love the dolls.
Well, of course, and she always wanted to see the dolls. So Dorothy let her in the doll room to get her out of the house.
I love Dorothy.
And I'm running back and forth because Mom's on the phone. She was single-tracked in her mind, wanting to get a hold of William Tennant, who was not at home.
He was
on the tennis court someplace else, and we kept talking to his wife.
Wasn't William a manager of Roman?
Roman and Sharon.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was the one who had to go and...
He didn't have to.
Okay.
He heard the same newscast and drove up when he finally
but
left.
Didn't the police say somebody has to identify these people?
Yes.
And it was William Tennant.
No.
Who was it?
They were sending me up to identify those people. They sent a squad car to pick me up because Mother was a basket case. My father was still in Sausalito, not yet retired. I had to call Dad and tell him that Sharon was dead because I knew by then.
Yeah.
I called Roman. I didn't realize it for many years, many years, that I wasn't the first person to break it to Roman, but I can still have total recall, and he was already crying in my mind, and that's because William Tennant called him. Now, William Tennant got off the tennis court, got into his sports car, his roof down, driving home, and heard the same newscast.
So he went to the house?
So he went to the house and walked right through the open police line. Of course, there's news trucks all the way down to Benedict Canyon from the house, but they didn't close the gate. Which is why the crime scene was, okay, I have to back up and give LAPD a free pass. This was the first case that the robbery homicide department of LAPD, one of the biggest in the nation, this was their first case. Okay, outside of, after Bobby Kennedy's murder, that's when they went, oh, we need guys that actually specialize in this stuff.
Yeah.
But their first real case was my sister's.
Sharon Tate and quote,
Friends.
others. Right. That was the headline. However, I will never forgive this. And now it's a whole different animal because there's CODIS and different things. The Tate team was working one crime. The LaBiancas, it was very similar. Political piggy. They're like not related, and they would not work. I know,
sheriffs and PD,
and they would not work together.
They would not work together.
And so it took a little extra time. And when you look at the headline of the paper, they had said, you know, hippies caught with stolen cars, and then above it is Sharon's picture. But they're the ones who murdered her. There was no connection at the time in the LA Times. Yeah, so this goes so much deeper, which Deb and I will not get into the current nonsense.
I'm already in trouble.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
See
what I mean?
Their defense attorneys are having a ball with it.
Well, let them. What are they going to do? You know what we'd like? Deborah would like to sit down with you, with Patricia Krenwinkel. She would love to sit down with your clients. And there is a program apparently offered in this system, the penal system here in California.
I'm not going to do it anymore, Jillian. How many years am I going to ask these people for it? And now the restorative justice system, they have a moderator. So the only things that would be addressed are what the inmates want addressed. And then that goes into the records. I don't get to, or the LaBiancas, or the Hinmans, or you, if you were unfortunate enough to have your family members. It's not about the dead loved ones or the victims that are left behind to suffer a lifetime. It is all about the inmates. End of story.
I learned that my first parole hearing with you, with Pat Krenwinkel, when her attorney spoke for 9 hours.
That's right.
And then Deb got up and she was allowed 3 minutes. And Jay Sebring's family was allowed 3 minutes. And the LaBiancas were allowed 3 minutes. And I remember thinking, what the fuck? I don't care how many license plates this woman has made or how many seeing eye dogs. She's good, as Deb says, good for you. But you don't deserve to breathe. She does.
That they can.
She's a lot nicer than me because I
have something that they can feel proud of having done for society.
Yeah, she's nicer than me.
Great.
I want to spit in her face, but I will tell you this. She's a whole different world, this one. She's a victim's rights advocate. It's not just about the Manson family. It's not like she sits and cheers when they die. She says, you know.
No, I cry and
Yeah.
give them a flower.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, yeah. Although when Susan Atkins died, I was very happy. I'm not going to lie. I was on TV at the time. And Vincent Bugliosi. And people try to find this clip. This is a true story. So Vincent Bugliosi is the man who put Manson behind bars. He and Stephen K. I'll say Stephen K. more than Vincent.
Yes, much more than Vincent.
Absolutely, because Stephen K. was with the families for many, many, many decades of these hearings. Where was Vincent? Oh, he's writing other books, trying to make money, whatever. He comes on our show, Good Day LA, and I go in the green room expecting him to be, he's the one who put them behind bars with the whole,
Vincent Bugliosi is responsible.
The G is silent.
I true confessions. I call him Booger.
You do?
Yes.
Good for you. I call him worse than that. Here's why.
I call him Booger.
I went into the green room and I was like, hi, Vincent, blah, blah, blah. We were talking about Susan Atkins had recently, I would say about a month before, asked for compassionate
release.
Yes.
At the en banc hearing that I was referring to where Davis's wife attacked me.
Oh my God. So she's asking for this because she has...
I never got to finish that story.
Yeah, we're going to finish that.
We'll circle back.
Okay. So Susan Atkins is there. She's got brain cancer. I think her leg was chopped off because of diabetes. I'm not sure, but...
Amputations.
Yeah. So I go to Vincent Bugliosi and I'm like, hi, Vince. Can you believe, because I'm a host of the show and we're in commercial break. I go, can you believe the nerve of this woman asking for what? And he goes, puts his hand in my face and he goes, stop, Jillian. I will not talk about Susan Atkins. I will not talk about her compassion plea. I am here to talk about Devils and Angels, whatever book he wrote. And you are not to ask me about it. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm freaking out. So I run to the
This is the man that had the ghostwriter
in the courtroom.
In the courtroom from Jump Street. They actually did sound bites before anything started to make sure that the man was seated in a chair where he could capture every word. Okay, so Vincent Bugliosi made his future off of this case.
100%. If you've read the book Helter Skelter, you absolutely know. This was his whole...
And it was his intention.
It was his intention. Yes, he got them behind bars, but he also made
a lot of mistakes. And that's why I'm still doing hearings 54 years later.
Exactly. 54 years later, she's still going to hearings. Vincent Bugliosi writes this book, co-writer, blah, 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 and then assistant DA was Stephen K. And I've always looked at Stephen K as a mastermind hero. And when that day happened with Vincent, I ran into the hair room and I called Deb. And I go, Deb, oh my God, do you remember this?
Yeah.
I go, oh my God, Vincent Bugliosi's on the show and he's pro Susan. I don't fucking understand it. And he told me, don't ask me anything or something, And I don't recall if it was that show or another, because Dorothy is a born-again Christian. She's like lovely, my sweet Dorothy, whom I love. And she's like, well, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm like, she didn't give Sharon a second chance. And I went crazy on Dorothy.
Well, it's not second chance.
She give her a chance.
Fourth chance, fifth chance. How many chances do you want?
Yeah.
How many? How many do we get? At what point in life? And it's on taxpayers' dollars.
That's it.
Enough?
It's on our money.
Enough. All right. When you've lost in 3 courts, your parole hearing.
Yeah. 3 strikes you're out, please.
Your superior court, and then your appellate court, which is just under the Supreme Court of the United States of America. When you've lost all 3 of those, let that be it, because any one of these hearings cost over taxpayer dollars, $2 million baseline.
Stephen K. is the real deal. I notice murderers' defense lawyers get sick and suffer and die. Wouldn't you? How many inches is Deb's hair?
Well,
it's down to her ass.
My longest layer.
And it's not, I just grabbed your booty.
Hello.
She's got and it's real. I go like this. You bitch, you got skinny and your hair.
I sit on it. My longest layer, I sit on.
Yeah, she's got beautiful, long, auburn hair, and I don't think you fucked with it a lot when you were younger. So I think that's why it's still in great condition.
I did dye it. I wanted to be anything else, and I looked good with it when I was younger.
Dark
dark.
Yeah,
dark.
I totally can see that because of your eyes.
Because of my eyes.
Does Deb keep in touch with Roman?
Yes.
Yes. A lot of guys have sympathy for Susan. I don't get it. Really?
Well,
Ew.
a lot of women want to marry the guys, and a lot of women want to marry the girls.
Ted Bundy Richard Ramirez had groupies. It's just the way it goes.
It's a thing. It's a thing. But circling back to the Bruce Davis story, the one that attacked me.
Bruce Davis's wife attacked
me in
Debra.
Sacramento at a en banc hearing for.
Tell them what that means.
This en banc is where, a compassionate release, any inmate in the state of California who is diagnosed terminal, and 3 doctors confirm it, they do a compassionate release appeal, and that goes to all, at that time, 12 members. Do you know we have nearly 24 now?
No. No.
Yeah. So all 12 members get to weigh in real time that day. So them or their family members, whoever is able, make the case to please let them out. The requirement is 3 doctors concur with the diagnosis.
And that's not very hard to do, you guys. It's not hard.
All of especially when you have cheating doctors, and all 12 members it has to be voted.
They have to agree.
Yeah. And Susan was not granted the compassionate.
As she should not have been.
And of course, Susan Atkins married. Okay?
Yeah. A lawyer.
All of these people have had relationships
behind bars.
But a Harvard graduated lawyer who still I don't know to this day, but
Susan's husband?
years after Susan's death, he was still living with his mother.
Was that the Paul guy? Paul.
I don't remember his name. I don't.
Deborah, your hair is insane. It's beautiful. The system is corrupted. Yep. You could braid your hair.
Yes, that's usually what I do.
Sleeping on that hair must be a nightmare because it gets caught everywhere. No, she braids it.
I braid it, or I take it, and this is how I was today. I take it, I twirl it, I rub it around my fingers, I tie it,
and then she puts up.
I stick it on my top of my head.
And today I go, Deb! She was outside, I go, Deb! She's like, and she comes my way, and then she takes her hair down. It's gorgeous.
Because it was still soaking wet.
So it's still wet. There's a new Ed Gain show. Do you know who Ed Gain is?
No, it's not. Nothing's coming to the forefront of my mind.
Okay. We'll move on. He was a fucking horrible serial killer. Did Charles Manson ever speak to Deb at any time? He was in Wait, we got to get this. Did he ever apologize? Tell about the first time you went and he was like, I'm not going to see that. Remember?
My first Charlie parole hearing, okay. Steve tried to dissuade me heavily, as he did Patty, Stephen K.
Oh, God bless
Stephen. He did Patty, and he also did Mom.
God bless Stephen K. Even though sometimes he comes up with stuff, but God bless him.
Nope.
I'm gonna go.
Nope.
And he was at Corcoran at the time. Where was he?
Corcoran.
She went.
I went, and I was told this by the second assistant warden. Okay, the second guy, or the guy right under the warden. So number 2 in that huge prison came and talked to me. The story that was told to me was he was brought into the prepping room in leg irons as well as the waist irons, which most of these people don't have to go through that, but Charlie did. And
it's Charles Manson.
Behind the desk is a huge window mirror. It's the two-way mirror.
Yeah.
And Charlie and I had already met once.
I didn't know that.
There's a lot of people that don't know a lot of shit. That I'm,
yeah, but I'm like your fucking,
telling.
I'm your girlfriend,
I
girl.
don't care. I'm not telling. But he,
Holy
you know,
shit.
I'm very recognizable.
Oh my God.
He looked through the window and he told the man who was taking off his leg irons, he still had his waist irons on, he says, "Who is that?" And he says, "Well, I heard it was Sharon's sister." And he said, "Put my leg irons back on and take me back to my cell." And that was that. The hearing commenced. There are rules and regulations, and usually, which this plays into something that's active right this second. That was my only experience. The commissioner said, under the law, he's allowed to forfeit at the last minute,
oh my
but
God.
that everybody else forfeits and the rest of us continue the hearing.
Yeah.
So I make the commissioner's weigh the pros and the cons on the record. It all has to be spoken into record. Why he would not be considered, because of course at that point he's forfeiting not only his chance to address the parole, but any help in the form of an attorney would also have to forfeit. Okay, so the commissioners read all of the bad stuff or whatever they have, good or bad. Actually, they read it fair, good and bad, into the record. And we give our victims impact statement.
3 minutes for victims impact.
You know what? I have told them.
They get fucking 9 hours.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have said, not to you. I'm saying to a story. I have said to one commissioner who was, watching the clock. I said, "Excuse me. Under California law, blah 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 blah, you are not allowed to censor how long I talk or what I have to say. This is my victim's impact story." He was trying to tell me what I could
and could not say,
and how much time I had to say it. Now listen, folks. I am always the quickest one
in the room.
In the room.
She is.
I listen to what the attorney is presenting as the reasons they should be out of jail, and I challenge. I challenge with their own words that they have said in the history of
their incarceration.
Record. And I do it off the cuff. I don't read squat. Nothing. Not one book. Not one anything.
So Deb and I have a different approach on their incarceration. Hers is that they're still a threat because of this and that. For me, I'm like, they don't deserve to breathe the air I breathe because of what they did. I don't care if they were 19. I don't care if they were, 21, whatever. Is that Ariana? Okay. So Deb,
it's something horrible.
What?
But no.
Because of this?
No, it's just
Jesus.
one of these other things that plague me.
It's terrifying. I just happened to see the Dateline episode today and it gave me chills. Do you know if they knew who they murdered? Well, that's a whole other story we can get into because of Terry Melcher. Yeah, it's a total fuck up, the whole system. Everyone's asking about the parole people. I heard Charles Manson could make a watch stop. Yeah, that's what Vincent Bugliosi would have you believe. He's not fucking, he's dead, so who cares? Have you had communication with Manson's son? By the way, his son reached out to me one time, and I did not reach out back. My loyalty is always to Deb.
He's never reached out to me.
No. He's not proven his son, but he looks exactly like him.
The one that lives in West Hollywood?
Yeah.
I think that one has been proven not to be his son.
There you go. But his son with Mary Bruner died in a motorcycle accident, right? He was died in Ohio. He was brought up by his grandparents, Mary Bruner's parents in Ohio, and Michael Manson, he died. He died in a motorcycle accident. People have a lot of questions. So you understand, she's not just about Sharon Tate's sister who was murdered. She understands the system, the sheriff's department, the parole hearings,
PDs.
What?
PDs.
PD.
Victim services.
I'm so sorry, Deborah. I'm so sorry, Deb. This is from Shirley. I'm so sorry, Deb, for your struggle and continue fight to keep those monsters in. My mom was pregnant with me at the time that your sister of Sharon. She always remembered this, and it was the sad loss of a mom and a baby. What was Manson's connection to Brian Wilson? Also, does Deb have other siblings? Do you ever feel or receive signs from Sharon? Okay, all those are great questions. And let me start with the first one, or the last one. I got a message from Tyler, what's his name?
Henry.
Tyler Henry's like, I want to read you. And I was like, I don't want to be read, but I do have a really good friend. Deb has asked me for years, if you know somebody over, like, I'm very protective of her. So she'll say, so-and-so sent me a script. I'm like, no. She just wants to play Sharon and be a whatever. And a lot of people said, I'm contacting Sharon through can you connect me with Deb? I'm like, no. Tyler Henry sends me a message, and I had just happened to be watching his Netflix series, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know about all this stuff, but jeepers. And he says, I would like to read you. And I said, I don't want to be read, but I do have a dear friend that I want you to read. And I can't, you know how he doesn't want to know who you are? I said, Tyler, you're going to know who she is. He said, that's okay. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He came with his husband. They brought us.
Now husband.
Now husband. They were boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they brought us pashminas. And Deb goes into my room. Now, you have to understand, my bedroom at the time, I had Sharon's picture. I have her kiddish cup up on my mantle. I had a lot of Sharon things, And I was like, oh, Deb's going to totally connect with Sharon. They're in there for like an hour and a half. This one comes out. They leave. And I say, what happened? Do you remember what you said? I talked to Doris and Patty, but there was no Sharon.
Dad was very present.
And Paul.
Dad was the main spokesperson.
There was it's what killed me, because I was like, yes, bring her in my room, because I have everything of Sharon's in my room. He's like, okay.
She's already ascended.
She never, yeah.
Tyler and I are good friends.
I know you are.
And we have spoken about...
What does he think?
The process. And he says, he knows. He knows that I am also very psychic. And he said, that she's already ascended.
Okay, I'm just going to kill you with this one.
What?
Jill Pandora. I remember Sharon used to hold me as a baby. My dad tells me the story. Yes. I'm going to cry. Oh my God, Jill.
Yes. Jill, you're right.
And let me tell you, people...
right to your mom and dad's house, right down 36th Street, I believe. Somewhere in there.
You have no idea. There's so many people that tell me they know Heather Locklear or they know Debra Tate. No, but for her to say, yes, you're absolutely right, it makes my heart so happy.
How is your dad?
Jill, how's your dad? Margot Robbie recently did an interview and spoke of the moment when Debra brought out Sharon's perfume for her. What perfume was it? Was it Jicky? I knew it. Points for Jilly. Yeah. Chills. Paul was a sweet man, says Jill. That's your dad.
Yeah.
Paul
was a double-edged sword.
Yeah, like I don't know everybody in your family. She's
dad.
Like her.
I'm my dad's.
You are your dad.
Favorite. I was his favorite.
Okay.
I was his tomboy. So I got to do things differently than Patty and Sharon did with him. I am probably more like my dad than I am my mother.
She's like gun. Oh yeah, this one. No, you're
not afraid of much. Unfortunately,
you're like a tomboy. Okay,
I'm a tomboy.
But her and I go on a little venture, and it's 3 a.m. True story. And there's partying and there's kids, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Who stays up till 3 a.m.? La la la, and they're boiling and pinging. And I'm like, oh my God. And 3:15, 3:20 rolls around, and I start to go back to sleep. And at the end of my bed, and I'm at her place, you know when somebody sits on the edge of your bed, you feel a compression, you feel like something goes down. And I was like, I wasn't scared. And I said, oh, hi Doris, because I was in Doris's kind of room. It had a lot of, and people asked me, I had a lot of Sharon's things in my home. I was very honored, and it was my honor and duty to keep it. However, I got scared because what if there were floods and things? Okay. Oh, she says, thank you. Okay. It's only been 16 years since my brother was killed, and one of his killers gets a chance of parole in February. I have no idea how to start my impact statement. Oh my God, Deb, this is for Sam. How do you?
Sam, it's not as difficult as you would think. Okay, this is your impact statement. So what they are looking for, which doesn't mean is going to be the only thing you want to talk about. What was the immediate effect that the loss of your brother made on your life? That's what they want to hear. What was taken away from you? And of course that grows and grows and grows and grows. In my opinion, where the victims are ground zero, but they're out of their misery. Okay?
Yeah.
We're left here to suffer
yes,
a lifetime.
That is the greatest way to say it. Deborah once said to me, I'll never forget this. She said, Sharon had the most beautiful 26 years of her life. People would stop her in the street.
Never wanted for
anything.
Everything she wanted, she got. Everything.
Yeah. And, obviously the last 40 minutes of her life were fucking horrific. So, you have to concentrate on the incredible life. And then once they're out of that misery, like your brother, then it's gone. This is better than anything I've ever watched on TV. Thank you, girls. Well, thank you, Gonzo. We want to educate. And I will say that Deborah, and I have never done a live, I want her to do a live because she's so educated. I'm not. I don't know.
Go back to the victim.
Yep. Go back to the brother, the victim's impact. Yes. Yep. Sorry.
Think about what your brother gave to you in life, and then elaborate on what the lack of those things and how the lack of those things being taken away from you, ripped away from you, what the support, the love, the influence, whatever it was that he had specific to yours and his relationship was the gift. And then it being ripped away, and what was left? What was left in the shell once that light was removed from your life? You'll knock it out of the park.
Wow. Okay. Yes, it was baby Paul. Someone's asking, did she have clothes for baby Paul? Yes. Oh my goodness. Deb has everything. You still do. Yeah. Yeah, people are saying they're just so sad, and you're a very strong woman. They can't believe what you've been through and how you've handled it. So let me ask you that. Did Sharon yes, we've just said that for baby. Yes, she did. How you handle it now versus how you handled it then. So it's a whole different, she was 17 when it happened then. So think about the late 60s, right? Yes, it is very sad. Sharon was buried with her baby. Deb will tell you.
In her arms.
In her arms. The baby was full term. He was 2 weeks away from birth. So many babies are
completely viable.
He was full term.
Life.
Yeah, it took him 20 minutes to die. These fucking savages.
We didn't consider that in those trial days. It wasn't until Scott Peterson.
Yes!
That the unborn child is also considered murder.
30 years later, Lacey Peterson, right? Scott Peterson kills his wife. I don't care what you say if you go to retry. I don't know what the Innocence Project is doing. You fucking have wasted my time. And with the Menendez brothers and Scott Peterson, he did it. Let me save you some time. They said the baby, full and viable, That's another human. They did say during the proceedings and Paul Tate, but it wasn't like, I always said, you're baby killers. I always called them baby killers. So the next night when they went out to do what they were going to do, wreak havoc and murder, Manson went to the house beside, because he was there that night. He went to Harold True's, the house beside Harold True's, and there were baby pictures in the window. And this is what kills me. Manson goes, no kids. I'm sorry, but the night before, you're all baby murderers. So nowadays it has a far more
impactful.
Yeah.
And legal standing, okay? That's double homicide.
Of course.
Double homicide.
Sharon and her baby.
After Lacey Peterson's case, that changed the way we looked at it.
Yeah.
That wasn't included in the law at the time of Sharon's case. So baby Paul is not, excuse my bluntness, not among the body count officially.
Which is so disgusting.
But in my perspective and my family's perspective, or you, if God forbid you are in my shoes ever, you would also consider that a loss of human life.
Someone is asking a very personal question, but I think it can be answered by Deb, not me. They said, sorry if this is very personal. Who, because you saw the baby, who did the baby look like? Roman.
I did not see the baby. My father took a Polaroid picture of the baby, and I saw that.
At Noguchi's table, like or where? Where do you think he took it? You don't know.
I think it was in the coroner's office.
That
was never specifically told. I never thought. All right, as a family member, I don't have the same brain she has. Sometimes I have to look at my dear friend and say, "What are you doing? Writing a book?"
Oh, never. I'll never do that.
Oh, I know that, but
you know that I've never
questioning her line of
one time we were on vacation and I was like, so your dad, because I'm a fucking journalist, but I'm not writing anything. I'm her fucking like best friend. So I go, so your dad, and then she goes, what the fuck? Are you writing a book? And I was like, oh my God, no. Nobody's interested in my life as a book. Of course I would not write your life because that's your story.
There's so many people who do, and
but
they get it wrong.
But Deb, here's the thing. On Instagram, I have 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
They get it wrong because they don't know from the fucking source. And so
they don't want to.
I would never, and you know this, write a fucking book behind your back. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I know that. But Jillian, as a journalist, has a way of the way her brain works. She just wants to know all of the answers.
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to tell you, Jillian, and I love you so very much, but the mindset of me even now and the mindset then, I would never ask my father, as he's volunteering me as the only one that I know
witness?
Of the picture of my nephew, because he knew I could take it. Mother couldn't take it. Patty was too long, but he had to share. Who's he going to share it with?
You.
Me.
And then you have that image the rest of your life.
I would never turn to him and ask. I know that child was Romans, looked just like him. Right? It's that simple.
Was Debra able to say her last goodbye to Sharon? Ooh.
I didn't have.
She didn't know it would be a last goodbye, so.
I wrote about the last time I saw Sharon.
And also, please talk about this fucking party.
I also talked to her that day because I was going to go up and get a saddle that she was gifting me. A Hermes gray pigskin saddle, by the way. But that was missing. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't.
That would be Hermes saddle.
It was in the blue trunks.
20,000.
Sitting in the entryway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But anyway, she wanted me to come up. I had plans to go up. My friend down the street, whose name is Johnny Click, was going to drive me because we only had one car and Mom and Patty needed it.
By the way, this is the night of the murders, yes?
Yeah.
So
I know that afternoon I called, late afternoon, and Johnny came hobbling up with two guys, one under each arm. He had sprained his ankle playing frisbee, and he drove a clutch. So he said, I can't take you to Sharon. We had all this planned already. I can't drive you. I have no clutch foot. So we're all going. And I knew. So I got on the phone and I said, sis, my ride just fell through, but he has two friends with him that would be willing to bring us up. And she said, no, sugar, or sis. I actually can't remember. I think it was sis. My dad called me sugar. No, sis, it's hot. I'm miserable. I don't feel like meeting people, strangers. I don't want to put on clothes or put on makeup or put on airs to entertain. I'm just miserable. I said, I get it. That's why I called.
And that's why there was no party.
No party.
When I talk to people that I know Debra and we're friends, they go, oh, my uncle was supposed to be at that party. I go, what party?
Lies.
The party on that night. I go, there was no party planned.
All right, folks, if you really want to figure it out for yourself, look at the autopsy report, even on El Coyote and food.
Yeah, you don't think she ate at El Coyote.
They didn't eat. The only one that ate was Abigail Folger, who had beans in her
which
were probably leftover food.
Okay.
Nobody else had any food. Okay, nobody else had any food in their stomachs.
Did you feel relieved when the piece of shit finally died in jail? No, she doesn't celebrate. I do. I'm like, boom, another one down. Another one bites the dust. She doesn't have that in her. I do.
I shed a tear and I say a prayer.
She says a prayer.
Hang a fresh flower. You know, in both cases of Charlie and Susan, I was told by the team that I was the first call that they made. And I know when they're getting close, so I'm always into fresh flowers, always have been. So I, have a little something.
Yeah, she's beyond the, I don't know, I feel like Deb when she was 17, but I've gotten into screaming matches with people who believe the party thing.
Right,
employ some critical thinking, yes.
Let me address the party.
Yes, she has other siblings. Patty, who passed away at 42 of breast cancer.
In 2000.
God, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And both Deb and I had breast cancer. And then Sharon, if you watch Valley of the Dolls, dies of breast cancer. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Go ahead.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I know my sister, just like I know all my family members. There's no way that she would put on clothes and go out to dinner and come back
Party.
and put on bathing suit bottoms and a little top that I had made her. No way. If she did, if any of you, for those of us who have been pregnant and given birth,
oh my
you
God.
put on your granny panties.
Hell yeah.
And a big baggy t-shirt.
Yep.
And you crawl into
bed. A moo-moo, if that. And by the way, it was
a kimono, whatever, but you don't put on your bathing suit bottoms.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't go out to dinner and not eat anything and not have anything in your digestive tract at all.
And also they said it was one of the hottest summers recorded in LA.
It was miserable. And none of the houses,
they didn't have air conditioning.
Nobody had air conditioning. It was sweltering.
Rest in peace, Patty. She lived next door to my grandma for many years. This is Jill Pandora. Yes, thank you, Jill. Gosh, Jill, thank you for visiting with Debra. Because I think that
I remember you very well, Jill.
You do? What do you remember about Jill?
She was blonde. She was a little towhead blonde.
Yeah.
And I knew.
And her mom was best friends with your mom?
Her grandma.
Her grandma. Okay. So was she younger than you?
Jill?
Yeah.
Definitely younger than me.
Okay.
I would be in between her mother and her. Her mother is younger than Sharon, but not by too much.
Oh my gosh.
I knew her mother really well. And I knew Jill coming in and out of Dorothy's house at various stages of her life, her teenage and young.
I'm so happy you're here because, I have 100,000 followers, and for Deb to have somebody who knows, her life back then, that makes me really happy.
Dorothy wanted me to have her Bernina sewing machine because we had a lot of history. I would run over there the night before at school without a pattern or anything and want something different to wear to school, and I'd be over at Dorothy's house working on her Bernina sewing machine, which is a professional, very heavy sewing machine. Her grandma willed me the sewing machine, but I couldn't pick it up.
By the way, her daughter, Ariana, is very much into fashion and sewing. And
so was I. I did a lot of
this
Sharon's
one
clothes.
was you did Sharon's clothing, makeup. She was a makeup artist. Also, her shoes. I want to tell the funniest story about going, oh my God, Jill Pandora is 60. Okay, well, I'll be 60. Jill is saying, wow.
Okay, Jill, I'm 72.
So I'm 59,
Gonna be
Jill.
73 soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah. So, okay. So for those asking, Debra was 17 when the Manson murders happened. Her other sister was 11 and Sharon was 26. This Jill person that we're speaking with is amazing. Yes, you used her sewing machine.
I loved that sewing machine. I really wished I could have picked it up, but I didn't have any help.
Oh my God, Jill, I'm so happy you're here.
And I know your mom was holding it in the garage, and I had full intentions of finding some muscle somewhere, but it just didn't happen.
Debra is amazing. Thank you for saying that, Stacy. Yep. That's why I'm great friends with her. I wanted to do the right thing when I was on TV. I wanted to honor her sister. So when were the pics of her in the bikini taken by Jay Sebring? When she was washing Patty Duke's dog, right?
No.
Oh.
I think you're referring to...
Listen to her, not me.
I think you're referring to when she was in the bikini bottoms and another crop top and holding the little dog, Prudence.
Prudence.
Is that the one?
Terrier.
There's been a lot of bathing suit shots.
Yeah.
Or was it her washing a giant dog named Shadrach, which was actually Patty Duke's
Which was
dog?
Irish Wolfhound.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how Ariana worked on Euphoria?
Jay did not take those pictures. Those pictures were taken by Wojtek.
Wojtek Frykowski. Sorry, I think I said Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys connected for a reason. Maybe because Deb, when you lost her yeah, of course. I look at her like a sister, and I look like a Heather Locklear, like my sister. By the way, Heather's with me. She's for the death penalty. She's a complete Republican, hardcore, except now things are weird.
You know what, folks?
Debra, you look amazing and beautiful. Isn't it crazy that Ariana worked on Euphoria and Alexia Demi, star of the show, is Dennis Wilson's adopted grandfather?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
What?
I wonder if Ariana knows that.
We're going to see Ariana tomorrow, so we're going to ask her that. It's adoring Sharon, so Xana knows everything, so it's going to be true. So Ariana worked on Euphoria, and Alexia Demi. Okay, so Demi, is that like Demi, the big Demi? Because I was with his wife and she died. Debra, you're so beautiful. Deb, have you written a book?
No, but I'm thinking about it.
Debra, you need to write a book.
I have got one that I've worked on, but folks, here's my problem.
Yeah.
I have a big writing problem. So some advice would be very appreciated. There is...
From my people?
There is, yes, from your people. Yes, from your people.
Okay.
There is the nucleus that set this whole thing in motion.
Yeah.
That is still has a life, and it is, I believe, because it is the example of the very fight between good and evil.
Absolutely.
And I know that I will not.
Yes, Deb was
It'll never
17.
finish.
Yes. Jillian, good. Yes.
I need to make a bridge, and I'm not a professional writer. I need to make a bridge between the events that happened, the laws as they were, as show people how things have evolved, to allow these people to come up over and over. I need to make what happened yesterday bridge with what's happening today, because what is important to me is what is happening today. And what happened yesterday was relevant to what is still going on today. And how the laws are bending to favor
the criminals.
The criminals, which only, if there is no deterrent, you have to say it's encouraging the problem.
Exactly.
I don't want one more member of this club. The club used to be called Parents of Murdered Children. Now it's something else.
It is?
Well, we have siblings, we have a lot of different relationships with our dead loved ones, murdered loved ones.
Did your mom go to Parents of Murdered Children?
My mother was Parents of Murdered Children.
Yeah.
Actually, it was existing. My mother headed up that chapter for the South Bay, and Steve Kay was our legal advisor.
We love you, Stephen Kay.
And I took up the head position of siblings of murdered people. Now, let me tell you, that turned out to be a whole bigger ball of worms.
Do you guys understand, whenever I talk about this and want to prove like no parole from MansonFamily.com, do you see how deep the levels go? It's not just,
poor siblings come to me, and at that time I didn't have the psychological wisdom that I have now, and these kids want to take hammers and break people's skulls open and want to do horrible things. There's one thing that I say over and over again, people. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And that is the message that a young person had to try to convey to these extremely wounded siblings of murdered individuals. And for the gentleman that is going to be facing his first victim's impact statement, please don't let those words travel far from your head. Don't have hate in your heart. Number one, it doesn't translate well to the board.
Yeah.
Okay, number two, that's not what it's about. It's about fixing a broken system so that there's less, it's less prevalent. If it's less prevalent, that means more victims spared. Spared, people. It's about sparing, not hating.
Do you see what I'm dealing with here? Like, how am I supposed to deal with this bullshit? Like me, I'm a fucking hater, and she's like all about the system. Okay.
Don't think I'm a wuss, though.
Oh, she's not a wuss. Okay. Yes, of course we'll save this. Okay, so here we go. Yes, you're so right. Criminals get it much easier. I'm so very sorry for the loss of your beautiful sister and nephew. I can't imagine the pain.
And my friends, I lived there that whole summer, so...
Yeah, you did. Let's talk about that. You were friends with Gibby.
Yes.
So that's Abigail Folger.
Their assignment was Sharon was doing it before she left to do her last film.